Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive? We're going to dig into something that honestly touches all of us, salinity stress. You might not be a farmer, but this stuff matters. We're looking at a Farminot article, and it's pretty eye-opening.
It's a topic with some serious layers, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We're talking food security, the whole climate change picture, even how we're going to farm sustainably going forward.
Okay, so, salinity stress, I get that it's about salt building up in the soil, but paint me a picture. What's it actually like for the plants? It's got to be more than just needing a watering can, right?
Oh, way more. Imagine like constant thirst. Your crops just can't get enough no matter the water. Globally, this translates to massive crop losses. Food prices, availability, it all ties in. And the causes. It's a mix, honestly. Natural stuff like rocks breaking down, but also our bad habits over irrigation, dumping on the fertilizer. Kind of shows how much we impact the environment, even when we don't realize it.
So this isn't just a few sad-looking plants in someone's backyard. We're talking big consequences here. And like you said, some of it's stuff we can't just stop. Gotta water the crops, gotta get food on the table. The article talks up Farminot's tech using satellites to spot the salinity problem. Why is it such a big deal?
Speed and accuracy, it changes the game. Old school methods. They take time, they're super localized. Farminot goes big picture, fast. Satellite scanning entire farmlands, that kind of thing.
What up? So instead of eyeballing it or waiting for lab results on some dirt, farmers get info instantly. That's gotta be powerful.
Exactly. Early detection is key, this tech. It's like giving farmers a heads up so they can react quickly, potentially saving whole crops, using resources smarter, even down the line, maybe keeping food prices stable.
Wow, that's some serious impact. It's like giving farmers a superpower, right? Seeing what their fields need before it's too late. Now, solutions. The article digs into both organic and conventional methods, but a lot of times those feel like two totally different camps, right? What's the article's take on that?
It's not about picking sides, honestly. Think of it like tools, the right tool for the job, right? And sometimes you need both, organic and conventional, working together.
That's a good point. Not so black and white, more like finding what fits. Give you an example. How would that actually work on a farm?
Compost, for instance. Seems simple, right? But it's huge for this salinity problem.
Okay, see, when I hear compost, I'm thinking my banana peels from last week. How does that tie into serious soil science?
It's all about soil health, the building blocks. Good compost is bursting with these tiny helpers, microorganisms, and they do amazing things for the soil structure. It basically helps the soil hold water better, which is exactly what plants struggling with salt need.
So it's like boosting the soil's immune system from the ground up to fight that salt. That's wild. But then conventional solutions, people tend to think, oh, that's the less environmentally friendly option. But this article doesn't paint it as the villain, does it?
Not at all. Conventional covers a lot of ground. And some methods, used the right way, are super effective against this salinity thing.
Right, it's all about context. Got any examples of a conventional solution that's still smart and responsible?
Drip irrigation's a big one. Instead of just flooding the field, water goes straight to the roots. Less waste, and it actually stops salt from rising up in the soil. It's like a 2-for-1, saves water and tackles the salt problem.
Talk about a win-win. Being efficient with resources and good for the environment, nice. And it seems like this whole targeted approach thing, that's a big part of what Farminot's pushing for.
Totally. Their tech gives you the info to make both those organic and conventional choices, but super targeted. No more guessing games, just data saying, do this here and watch it work.
So less one-size-fits-all farming, more like personalized care for your fields, huh?
Exactly. Giving farmers the power to work with their land, not against it. And that helps them, it helps the environment, and it helps all of us who, well, like to eat. And the cool thing is, this data, it's like getting a custom-made farming plan, right? No more generics. It's all about what your land needs.
Tailored farming, huh? That's pretty futuristic. But before we go full sci-fi, let's back up a sec. We talked about spotting salinity stress. The article mentioned it can be sneaky, it looks like other problems sometimes.
Yeah, you got to watch out for that. Could be nutrients, could be just plain old drought stress. It's tricky.
And that's where Farminot really shines, because that real-time info helps you tell the difference so you're not treating the wrong thing.
Like a super-powered diagnosis for your plants. Speaking of which, the article did mention some visual cues, like stunted growth, almost like a leaf burn thing. Kind of said the plant's like, give me water, but it just can't drink it, right, even if you tried.
Exactly. Too much salt messes with how the plant absorbs water. It's like being thirsty, but your body just can't use what it's getting. And that's why catching it early, seeing the problem before it's a disaster, that's everything. For sure. Got to connect the dots, what you see with what's actually going wrong down there in the dirt. Then you can actually fix it. Speaking of fixing it, let's get into those solutions. We geeked out about compost a bit, which is cool in itself, but the article also mentioned crop rotation, intercropping, more of those organic methods.
Oh yeah, those are like taking notes from nature's playbook, Crop rotation, it's like giving your soil a breather. Instead of the same crop, same stress, year after year, you switch it up.
Letting the land chill out a bit, recharge.
Exactly. And for salty soil, maybe you plant something tough, then something sensitive, back and forth. Gives the soil a break from all that salt.
Working with nature, not just bulldozing over it. I like it. And intercropping, that's another one. The article said it's like planting different stuff together in the same field, which sounds kind of chaotic, honestly.
It's about that diversity, though, like you see in wild ecosystems. By mixing it up, the whole system gets stronger, more productive.
Like building a plant team, each one with its own strengths, helping each other out.
Exactly. So in salty soil, maybe you've got one plant, deep roots, goes down for that good water, then another one, shallow roots, but it does something cool for the soil structure, or even helps suck up that excess salt.
Wow, they really are looking out for each other. Okay, switching gears a bit over to the conventional side. We talked drip irrigation, but there's also drainage systems and this thing called chemical amendments, which chemical can sound kind of scary, but I'm guessing it's not always a bad guy here.
You're picking up what we're putting down.
Yeah.
It's all about nuance, right? Used right, these chemical amendments, they can be miracle workers for soil.
Okay, good to know. So what's like the poster child for a responsible chemical intervention in this case?
Gypsum's a good example. It's a natural mineral, but added to the soil, bam, helps push out those bad salts, even improves how the soil is put together, like giving it a mineral boost to recover.
So not about dumping in some harsh chemical cocktail, more like giving nature a nudge in the right direction.
Bingo. We use what we know about chemistry to help the soil heal itself, basically. And here comes Farminot again, because their whole system, it's like, okay, based on all this data, here's what amendment to use, how much, where it'll do the most good.
Personalized soil prescriptions from space, huh? That's pretty wild.
It's really something, that blend of ancient wisdom and high tech, and it's how we're going to build a better future for farming. I really believe that.
It's like we're used to farming being all reactive, right? Problem after problem, whack-a-mole. This is different. It's like knowing what's going to happen before it does. And that's got to be huge, not just for farms, but for any big, messy problem we're facing.
It all comes back to that big picture, seeing the connections.
Yeah.
Like one thing goes wrong is probably not alone, right? There's the whole system out of whack. And that's where Farminot gets really interesting, going beyond just the cool tech.
Yeah, they're not just selling a gadget. They've got this whole vision for how we should be farming. The article talked about Jeevan AI, their system. That seems to be at the core of it all.
Jeevan AI, it's like the brains of the operation, all that data from space, from the soil, even the weatherman's predictions. Jeevan AI takes it all in and spits out advice that makes sense.
So imagine like a team of farming gurus, but they're all plugged into your fields 24/7 whispering, hey, do this now, tweak that a bit.
Exactly. It might say, hold off on the watering, rain's coming, or
Yeah.
that patch over there, perfect for this type of crop based on the salt levels we're seeing.
That's some next level precision, takes the guesswork out and replaces it with like hard data. And it's not just about squeezing out a few more tomatoes, right? This has got to be good for the whole sustainability thing, especially with climate change looming over us.
Absolutely. Less waste, healthier soil.
Yeah.
You're basically building a farm that can roll with the punches even as the climate throws curveballs. Speaking of curveballs, the article even mentioned blockchain. Now, I'll admit that one's a bit over my head sometimes. How does that fit into all of this?
Right, blockchain, it's like this mysterious tech force.
Yeah.
Enlighten me.
Think of it like this. Total transparency from farm to fork. You buy an apple, scan a code, boom, where it grew, how it grew, even the salinity of the soil it came from. That's the power of blockchain in this world.
Okay, so no more mystery meat. It's like full disclosure produce. I can dig it.
Exactly. Good for consumers, because we know that we're getting, but also huge for farmers doing things right. It's like a badge of honor saying, my food's the real deal, and here's the proof.
So everyone wins. Consumers get good food, farmers get rewarded for being sustainable.
Exactly. We keep coming back to that connectedness, right? It doesn't matter if you're knee-deep in the fields or just enjoying a meal. Understanding this stuff matters. Our choices have ripple effects.
This whole deep dive, it's given me a shot of optimism, I'll be honest. It's easy to get stuck on the problems, but this is about solutions, about using our brains and what we know about nature to make things better.
Couldn't have said it better myself. We've got the knowledge, we've got the tools, and honestly, we've got the passion to build a food system that works for everyone.
It's an open invitation, you know. Get curious, ask questions, make choices that line up with the future we want to see. So next time you're having a meal, take a second. Think about how that food got there. Because even small choices can make a difference for a tastier, healthier tomorrow.